Alright, welcome back guys. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I just got back from watching the local fireworks here in town, and it was actually pretty good this year. I think it went about 30 minutes at least. It was pretty good. But I wanted to do my weekly manga reviews, and all three mangas had some decent stuff happen this week. One Piece gave out a ton of info, same thing with Bleach. There was some big surprises in Naruto for me personally. So I'm going to start with Naruto chapter 592, Third Force. Suigetsu and Jugo actually find Sasuke. They return. They've been looking for him for a while now, and they show up. They found Sasuke. He's staring at Kabuto. And then it cuts to Madara. Madara says that he's going to go straight after the Nine Tails now, and Inoki wants to stop him. And then it cuts to the fight with Tobi versus Naruto, Kakashi, Guy, and Bee. And he's fighting with that big statue that eats the tailed beast. And they're actually kicking its ass. And I'm just shaking my head here thinking, my God, can Tobi win any battle so far? I mean, everything has gone in the village's favor. I mean, nothing he's done has worked. And it's just getting ridiculous. So he brings out that big gourd that the two brothers had who had power equal to a tailed beast. They had that fan thing, or the gourd, that if you said a word you use all the time, you get sucked in. He brings out that big thing, and it also shows a panel of Bee's tail when he sent Sasuke's group to fight Bee and capture him, and they could only cut off a tentacle. It shows some pictures of this stuff, and he feeds it to the statue. The statue eats this. I don't know, apparently it's supposed to make it very powerful because Tobi says the promised time is now coming. So I don't know how that is going to give the statue so much power, seeing as Naruto and the others were able to defeat those guys themselves, and how one tentacle is going to help the statue when Bee is there fighting against it. So I don't really know, but apparently the statue is going to be really strong now. And it cuts back to Sasuke. We see Anko, who really hasn't done much ever since the Forest of Death chapters in the first half of Naruto, where she's like one of the teachers. She hasn't really done crap. And yet she is still alive. Like, no one can die. God, I can't remember his name. The wood guy who took over for Kakashi. Yamamoto, I think. He is captured by Tobi still. And apparently he was feeding those half-white, half-black guys. And he was feeding them power. And I'm sure we're going to find out later that he's still alive too. And he's going to come back. But it's like, Anko, seriously? You can't even kill her off in this? So I was kind of disappointed to see that. But Sasuke gets handed a scroll by Suigetsu, and Suigetsu says Madara is still alive despite Kabuto being captured and Ito Tensei being stopped. Madara is still out there, which surprises Sasuke. So he looks at the scroll which Suigetsu got from one of Orochimaru's labs, and he finds out something major. He doesn't say what it is, he just says, I have to find the man who knows everything. Orochimaru. And Suigetsu and Jugo are like, Orochimaru, what? What the hell are you talking about? He's dead, you killed him. And he says, you really think that guy would be dead this easy? And I'm just thinking, hell yes. Because Tobi's a great villain. I don't know who Tobi is. But Orochimaru is one of my favorite villains in this series. And I really just feel like he should be the main villain. He's been there since the beginning, and he's always been a badass. And I think he should be the main villain. I don't really know. I don't want to speculate too much on the Tobi stuff, but that's how this chapter ended, and I was very happy with this because, I mean, holy crap, we're going to get Orochimaru back. That's going to be awesome, even if it's just in some type of illusion where Sasuke goes and talks to him. I can't wait to read that. So this was good and a great surprise. So on to Bleach, chapter 499, Rescuer in the Dark. Ichigo is on his way to Soul Society to stop the fighting. So he's running on the path, and he's talking to Akon back at Bleach headquarters, Soul Society headquarters, and Urahara at the same time. Urahara is giving Ichigo information he has on the Quincy's that he's analyzed from Ichigo's fight against Opie. So he says they have 3 abilities. The first one is Volstandig, which is when they change appearance, which is when he sprouted like the crown, the wings. The second is Blute, which allows them to use spirit particles to increase their attack, their defense, and they can get a lot stronger when they use this technique. However, they can only use one at a time, so if they're going to attack, they can't defend. So Urahara says this one is very important to helping us fight the Quincy's. The third is the fact that they can still Bankais using those little discs things. But they can't still Ichigo's, which is why they're so afraid of him, and they waited till he was in Huecomundo to attack Soul Society. Of course. So Ichigo is about to reach the exit, show up in Soul Society, and we see this Quincy arrow fly by and seal the exit. Then we see Chad, Orihime, Urahara, all wounded. They've been attacked. Opie is still alive, and they're messed up, especially Chad. He's just standing there, and like pieces of his body are missing. I thought that was very cool. And we see Opie standing over him. He's still alive. He shoots an attack into the little dimension Ichigo's in, traps Ichigo in some type of cage, and then seals the opening. And he actually says, "You're going to have to watch powerless as Soul Society crumbles." And that was it. That was the final page. And I just thought, that's pretty awesome. I mean, of course, Ichigo is going to find his way out somehow. Urahara is probably not defeated, and we'll be able to free Ichigo. They'll send Ichigo to Soul Society, Urahara, Chad, Orihime. I don't know where the hell Ashita is, but they're going to end up fighting Opie probably. That's what I would predict, because it just seems like this gives them a fight against one Quincy at least. And we know that Chad and Orihime, they're not going to be a match for the other Quincy's in Soul Society. So it's best that they get a fight here where they can all team up and make it believable. But I thought it was a pretty good chapter. And even though I expect Ichigo to get out of the cage, I don't know how he's going to do it. So I am looking forward to how that's explained. And it was just a fun chapter. I'm glad Opie's still alive. I thought he was a great villain. He's definitely injured. I mean, he's got a big hole in his body, but he says, you know, I'll give my life to complete the mission. And I thought that was just a really cool panel. He's like laughing, and he's like got blood all over him while he's laughing. Just looked very sinister and crazy. So that was cool. On to One Piece, chapter 673, Virgo and Joker. Holy crap, was a lot of stuff revealed in this chapter. But it was really cool stuff. The cover page is just another fan-submitted idea. We see the parents of the missing kids, the ones that Caesar has turned into drug addicts. And the parents are asking the G5 for assistance. And we meet Commodore Yarasugi. And this guy kicks them and hits them and says, "We've already looked for your kids 10,000 times. You insult me by asking again." And he always says, or ends sentences with, "You're overdoing it," or "too much." And it's kind of like a sick story because he is an asshole, but he's also funny. So I think Oda sometimes throws things in like that. So when you are dealing with a crazy situation, it's not as dark as it normally would be. But he seems like a cool character. He's got these big metal armor things on his legs. He's probably going to be powerful. The parents were actually told that the kids died in a shipwreck even though they were playing in the street beforehand. So their kids were playing in the street, they went missing, and the government told them it was a shipwreck. Like, I know they're lying. I get that. I get that's the story that they're trying to cover up this. But you would think that even in this fictional world, they would come up with something better than that. So, yeah, I just thought that was funny. Then we see Usopp and Nami. The kids are freaking out because they're going through withdrawal symptoms. So they're breaking the chains, they're picking up these giant logs, they're about to attack, and Caesar shows up. And he's got candy with him. So the kids are all happy. They're like, "Master, Master." Very, very sick stuff here. Very disturbing, the fact that Caesar has turned these children into drug addicts. And he shows up, and Nami and Usopp look at him and they're like, "Master?" And they're freaking out. And then we just see a close-up of Caesar's eye. And I thought that was a great panel. Awesome way to end this little section here. Then we see Zoro, Brook, Kinemon, and Sanji. They're being chased by the big blob, who apparently is Smiley. He has eaten a devil fruit. It's a Zolotl, I guess is how you pronounce this, and apparently it's some type of little amphibian creature. But I thought it looked great. It was a very cool looking devil fruit, and I love it when Oda throws unique things into this. And I think the blob is going to be very powerful villain here, and he's going to be a big part of this arc. Bigger than he has been, because now we just find out he's had a devil fruit, he's probably got more attacks, and I'm really interested to see what they do with the blob creature, but the fact that he's eaten a devil fruit was awesome to find out. But they just try and run from it, they're afraid to fight it, because if they blow this thing up, everybody dies. So they're just trying to get to the lab to find Kinemon's son. Back at the lab, we see Virgo talking to Monet. We find out he loves hamburgers. The big thing stuck to his face the whole time was a hamburger bun. I mean, this is just crazy. It's awesome. It's so freaking good. I mean, how he just throws stuff out. I mean, it seems like a little quirky thing, but that's what's so great about One Piece is each character has these like quirky little personality traits. And it was just so awesome to see this. We also find out he's a vice admiral. He has Luffy, Law, Robin, Frankie, Smoker, and Tashigi. They're all stuck in a cage, obviously made of sea stone. And Law tells them that Virgo used to be a pirate, and he's working for Joker. He's been working for Joker the whole time. He really doesn't give a crap about the Marines. So Smoker knows Joker as an underworld broker. He's a big-time criminal. And Virgo tells them that they're all going to die here so that they can't reveal his secret to the G5. The rest of the G5 members outside, Smoker's men who are trying to break in, they're going to be given to Caesar. And Virgo says, then I'm going to report all of this as an accident. Law tells Luffy that he used to work for Joker also, and that Joker is actually Don Quixote do Flamingo. And I was just like, holy crap. That means this is probably going to be the arc where they fight Don Quixote. So that was a great reveal right there. And I didn't see that coming at all. I really had no idea he was going to pull something like that out. And what I'm really hoping happens here is that, you know how Thriller Bark was kind of like a small arc? It did have major stuff. They ran into another Shikabukai with Gecko Moria, Oz, all that stuff. That was really cool, but once they wrapped it up, it was kind of like, okay, that's it. But then Kuma showed up, and all hell broke loose. Zoro had to take in Luffy's pain, and then they went to the Archipelago place, Shibandi, and they had to fight all the pacifistas. And then I was just like, you really saw the strength of the government. You saw just how powerful they were. The Straw Hats are not as strong as they come across sometimes. So I'm wondering if this is going to be one of those arcs where they fight Don Quixote, they beat him, and then something else major happens here. So this could be one of the big arcs that reveals a lot about the future of One Piece and what's going on with the government right now. So I'm really looking forward to where this goes in next week's chapter. Plus, Virgo must be a very powerful guy, and he says the Straw Hats are going to die. So something's going to have to happen here. Caesar's out on the loose. He's doing his thing. It's just a lot of stuff building up to this point, and it's been great so far. So that's it, really. That's my review of this week's manga chapters. I thought they were all great. We got some surprises in Naruto. Ichigo is in a tough spot, as it were. Opie's still alive. And then we have One Piece with the crazy reveals of Don Quixote being in charge. So a lot of cool stuff happened this week. I hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's manga chapters in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.